This is a very informed gathering of people who are involved in justice issues. Nationally, regionally, internationally, is a wide sector because you have from civil society, you have from academia, you have practitioners, you have lawyers, advocates, barristers. So it's a mixed kind of professionals. Arusha has been the host of the International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda throughout its existence. Africa hosts the African Court for People's Rights and Human Rights. Is based in Arusha. You have the East African Court of Justice, which is based here. So there are judicial institutions here. And I think this symposium, with its theme towards international justice, Arusha was ideal venue because we have in Arusha national institutions, for example, the judiciary of Tanzania. You have regional institutions, as I said, the East African Community Court of Justice. That helps to facilitate in a symposium like this. A number of consensus that came out of this meeting, and one of them is to support national system. I think there is wide agreement. International justice must be anchored in national justice. Much as we agree on international justice, that international justice must have its DNA in national justice. Okay, because otherwise, if it is aloof from national justice, metaphorically, it can be rejected like an antibody which is foreign, okay, to the national context. The trial should be held at the national level, and at last resort to be at the ICC. I think the international community accepts that the primary responsibility is of states, and in case they are unable or unwilling, then the ICC should come in. But the other one also is to support the ICC. So because some people are not within the reach of national jurisdiction, especially those with the greatest responsibility. And we saw this in Rwanda, in Yugoslavia. Those who were key responsible were not in these countries, they were outside the country. Another discussion was how to mend or how to help bridge the gap between the ICC and Africa, how to have a constructive dialogue. In the Africa Group for Justice and Accountability, which is a group composed of 12 eminent African experts on international humanitarian law, international criminal law, were ready to offer their good offices in terms of facilitating really this rapprochement between the ICC and Africa. But there is room, we think, for better understanding each other's position, because the AU is grounded on the rule of law, on human rights, on accountability, on how to end impunity, the fight against impunity. These are core values of the African Union. They are the core values also of the Rome Statute. So the ICC belongs to everybody. It belongs to every member state. It belongs to the international community. A crime against humanity in Tanzania is a crime against humanity against the whole world. The ideas that are coming out of this symposium, the idea of the in-depth dialogue, especially at the occasion of the Assembly of State Parties, I think could be a good way to move forward, because I think nobody is saying that those who commit atrocities should not be held responsible. As we move along, there will be a lot of rapprochement between Africa and the ICC, because, for example, one of the issues, concerns of Africa is why Africa, when there are other situations in the world which merit ICC attention, which merit ICC investigation, which merit ICC prosecution. The situation in Syria, in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Yemen, in Georgia, in Colombia. So all this, but the prosecutor is saying, I am doing preliminary investigations. But the question is, how long are those preliminary investigations? But I think that if those investigations had realized prosecution, I think then this question of unfairness between Africa and other regions would not be there. We have to have a holistic approach. Okay, you have to have other non-judicial mechanism. One is a truth commission. You can have a reparations commission. You can have other accountability mechanisms. So it's to complete the whole spectrum of measures. Okay, so that there is not a recurrent of violence, because most of this violence in many situations it's cyclic. Okay, impunity is cyclic. The root causes of that violence, okay, it's not a judicial concern, but in a truth commission, it is a concern in a truth commission to unearth the true causes. Okay, in a criminal sanction, yes, you are charged with an offense, genocide, crimes against humanity, war crime, because you committed that offense. But in a Truth Reconciliation Commission, you're looking at why the war in the first place, okay, and some of those other historical issues that have brought about that violence. So in a complete picture, so I think is what came out from the keynote address, and there's a relay in the other panels of that particular subject. I hope that we'll have more concrete recommendations on the way forward. Okay, concrete recommendation and concrete advice to the ICC, to Wayamo, to the African Group for Justice and Accountability on the way to move forward towards a system of international justice.